So find friends that are aligned with your goals and your mindset and that fuel you, don't suck the life out of you. Hello, and welcome to the Stroke It podcast. I'm Alday Townsend, your host. This podcast is for individuals that are wanting to grow personally and professionally. The podcast is going to offer mindset shifts, personal experiences from myself and guest. We're also going to provide some great resources, tools, and direction for navigating life. The goal is to inspire you and encourage you to take ownership of your life and begin living it completely fully today. Let's get to stroking it. Hello and welcome to the Stroke It podcast. Alday Townsend, your host. Super excited to be here with you today. Today we're going to be talking about picking the right person in honor of Election Day. You know, it's a huge topic of who's everyone going to be picking and why are they picking this person? And then there's not talking about it as well. So today's episode, I wanted to talk about picking the right person or people to surround yourself with. I don't know if any of you have heard the saying, you are who you hang out with, but my mother would tell me this all the time growing up. And I believe it's true. And I when I think about my adult life and who I'm surrounding myself with, it's super, super important. I'm currently in the stage of diving back into my business and wanting to elevate. I'm wanting to elevate my company. I'm wanting to elevate my growth as far as how I'm speaking, how I'm carrying myself financially as well. And I'm really surrounding myself right now with like-minded individuals, CEOs, women of power, people that are focused on doing good, people that are intentional with their time. And I'm really not really hanging out with any of the slackers or people that are unmotivated or that are struggling with their mindset. I made that decision last year. And it's not that I wanted to be selfish. I just wanted to eliminate the conversations of other people stuck and full of excuses. So I eliminated those conversations by answering the phone, reducing the amount of texting, and not scheduling time with that person. I talked about this in a recent speaking engagement or even on one of the podcasts as far as our time being our biggest asset. So when you're talking about different people, pick people that are aligning with your values, with your future, and that are aligned when it comes to values as well. So I kind of just wanted to break down a couple things today. First, I want to talk about marrying, just because obviously I'm married and I just did another podcast about marriage as well. And when it comes to picking the right guy, that is $1 million question. It's a stressful question to answer as well, because so many of us have a massive checklist. I know personally for me, it probably wasn't as large as a lot of my friends' checklist as well. My checklist was good looking, has a job, has a good family, is kind, and is loyal. You know, those were the main things that I wanted from someone that I was wanting to marry. I have some friends that first thing on their list is money. They really just want to find someone that has money. And I'm okay, cool. Good luck. Hope you find that. And when I ask them why, they're well, I don't want to have to worry about money. And I can understand that. Who wants to worry about money? I'm about making my own money. Some people come from a childhood where the father was the provider. And my dad did too. My dad provided a lot for us as well. And then there's a variety of other things too that are on those lists as well. So I'm really fortunate that my husband checked all 5 boxes as well. And I'm really grateful for my husband. And I'm so just in love. And like I said, I just did a podcast about us and our growth and where we are with our marriage. But I know a lot of times some women, and this may be for men as well, they overlook some really great candidates because of that checklist or the things that are on the top of the checklist they don't meet. So I want to encourage anyone that's listening today to broaden your thought process and your checklist. Now, obviously, there should be some non-negotiables. Whether if you are a person that wants a child and this person doesn't want a child, not going to work. Don't think you're going to change their mind. Don't try to change their mind. Could be a non-negotiable where they're not going to live anywhere else but this area. Probably not a great idea to date that person. Please don't think they're going to move or you're going to change their mind. That's not a great way to get into the relationship. You're going to always be disappointed, and they're never going to meet your expectations as well. But also want you to lean into, what are their core values? How do they treat their friends and family? Are they going to be loyal to you? Are they going to take care of you? And do you think that long term you want that person with you? So I think those are really great things to lean into, and think about the qualities of the person that you want to marry. And that goes for your friends as well. And that even goes for even your employees. List out the qualities that this person you want to see. We had a speaker at one of our events, and he basically outlined the perfect wife, and literally down to the hair color, the eye color, her height. And believe it or not, he actually ended up marrying someone that met the exact description of the things that he wrote down. Not only what she looked like, but where she lived, where he was going to meet her, qualities, how many children she wanted to have, and all these different things. And literally, he found that perfect person. And it's amazing. So think about that perfect person as far as their qualities, but I would encourage you to be a little bit flexible and know that they may have blonde hair, not brown hair. So when you talk about friends and picking friends, sometimes we hang out with people because it's convenient or they're available. And what ends up happening is that person doesn't serve you in a positive light, or they distract you. So find friends that are aligned with your goals and your mindset and that fuel you, don't suck the life out of you. Also, when you're hanging out with these friends, be intentional. I have a really great friend. She's one of my best friends. And she always makes sure that there's a reason why she's hanging out with someone. What's the intention? What's the purpose? How's it going to serve her? How's it going to serve them? And she does not want to waste any time. Her time is very precious. And so I'm learning from her. However, I did just go out with her last Friday after an event, after a really hard week. And I was with her, and I was miserable the whole time. And not because I didn't want to be with her. It was just that I was exhausted. And in that moment, I thought, why didn't I ask her question before I went out? All those things. Is it going to serve me? What is the purpose? Is it intentional? And I didn't. I just said yes because I wanted to serve her and I wanted to be there to support her and all that stuff. But at the same time, it wasn't really self-serving, and it was making it to where it was not a fun time for either one of us because I wasn't in the right mindset as well. So if you are going to spend time with your friends, make sure you're in the right mindset because they're super excited to hang out with you. You've made that commitment. And at the end of the day, if you're going to take this time to be with a friend, you really want to have fun and show up ready to engage with them. I would say that I wish that I would have been that friend that Friday night, and I wasn't. And it's really, really unfortunate. So, but we understand each other, so she's not mad at me. Hopefully she's not. If you're listening right now, send me a text and tell me you're not mad at me. I'm just kidding. When it comes to team members, picking the right team member can be super, super challenging. So, depending on what kind of industry you're in, I would encourage you to get the book Who. It's a great book. It talks about A players. There's a lot of leadership books that talk about skill sets. I have always hired from a standpoint of personality and attitude. Do they have a can-do attitude? Are they wanting to grow? Are they hungry? Or are they connected to our mission? And first and foremost, it's always been the way that I've hired. Just in the past year, because of the change in model and because we were trying to grow and we were trying to do different things, I needed to hire at a higher skill set. I would say 2 of the 3, if I would have went back to the way I used to hire, I wouldn't have hired them. I focused on what was on paper and the expertise that they had versus that personality and that hunger, things like that. So it can be kind of challenging when you're picking a person to hire, and then obviously you have expectations. What I'm finding to work for me is the scorecard, which is also in the book Who. There's a couple other books as well I've been reading, but outlining what the goals are, what the desired outcomes are going to be, and a timeline as well to hold people accountable. If people know that they may or may not have a job at the end of the year, they're basically keeping themselves either on the team or they're firing themselves too. So I'm finding that this is reducing conflict. This is reducing some frustration too on my end. But But once again, if you are looking to hire some people, I'm going to definitely encourage you to think about personality, think about their attitude, because that goes a long way. And at the end of the day, they are the heartbeat of your organization. They're going to be the ones that are working with clients, and clients want to work with people that are happy, that have a good attitude, and that have a good personality. So that would be my advice. Once again, like for takeaways, I'm going to encourage you to write down 5 qualities of what you want to see in your spouse, what you want to see in a friend, what you want to see in an employee as well, or even your employer. Also, I want to think about the values. What are your core values? Finding people that align with your core values are going to be super, super important as well. I had Liza Howard on my podcast like a year ago, and her focus was like hanging out with people that shared the same values as her, which I thought was super powerful. And then also, what are the intentions? What is the intention of this person that's going to be coming to work for your organization? Like, what are you intending them to do? How are they going to help serve the company? What is their personal intention as well? Like, why are they wanting to join your company? And then once again, with your spouse and with your friends too. And I think if you really outline that, you're going to pick the right people to surround yourself by. And once again, you are who you hang out with. If you want to be the CEO of a company, go find CEOs and hang out with them. If you want to invest in a company, go hang out with investors. If you want to start like your own music school or your own dance studio, go and work at a music or dance studio as well and get trained and get mentored by them. If you're wanting to be happier, go hang out places where happy people hang out. Gyms, yoga studios, coffee shops, art galleries as well. There's a lot of outdoor activities. You can go to Meetup. You can research and see what organizations or parks. Volunteering is a great way to find happy people as well. So once again, the happier you are, the more people you're going to attract that are similar to that as well. And I think a lot of it takes work as well. But yeah, I'm hoping that's helpful for you. I hope that encourages you to kind of think about who you are, who do you want to become, and who are the people that you want to have in your circle. And if you don't have the right people in your circle, 86 them. Most of them won't even miss you because they aren't invested in you or your time as well. I was just having lunch with a woman, and she was always the one coordinating and creating the happy hour and getting people together. And then one day she said she stopped, and then nobody reached out. So basically, they really weren't connected. They really didn't care. It was more of like they had somebody just reaching out to them. So, and that reminds me too, if you have someone that crosses your mind, I want to encourage you to send that person a text message. Don't have an expectation they're going to return it, but hey, you crossed my mind, thinking of you, had a nice day. I have been doing this. I pretty much have done it for a while, but like intentionally, like, let me make sure I stop what I'm doing and text that person. And the messages that I'm getting back are just amazing. Some people don't text me back, which is totally fine. I don't care. Or I'm like reconnecting with people. Sometimes we judge our friends and we think, they don't want to hang out with us. They're too busy for us. They don't have time for me. What you may not know is they may be going through something and they don't have the strength to reach out to you, but you reaching out to them puts a smile on their face. It makes their day, and it may open the door where they do reach back out to you and they share what's going on, where you can be a support system as well. So allow some grace with your friends or your acquaintances. I want to encourage you to send the text, hey, have a great day, or even a smile emoji. It makes a huge difference. I know that I've gotten lots of responses that validate that that's true. And also it makes me feel good too, that I'm, sharing some love and sharing like positive vibes with other people. I think that we could all use a little bit more positivity right now. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in today. If you think anyone can benefit from today's podcast, please send it to them. Also want to encourage you to get my book. It's available on Amazon. It's great value, lots of resources. The whole chapter is about you and making sure that you're happy, you're fulfilled, so that you can serve others and you can be an amazing spouse, friend, employee, or employer as well. So thank you all. Feel free to give me a review as well. And season 3 coming up soon. Thanks for listening to the Stroke It podcast today. If you want to stroke me, please consider giving me a 5-star review, sharing this podcast with 5 of your favorite friends or someone you may think could benefit from the podcast, and consider joining my collective. It's completely free for the first 30 days, and you can go to jennysfreegift.com.